When it comes to classic cinema, there are many great actors and actresses, and in this video I'll be discussing one of my personal favourites, and that is the wonderful Miss Joan Fontaine. Now, I have seen so many films of Joan's over the years, and every time she's on the screen, she always delivers. Now, while to the outside world, Joan may have been living a life of luxury, her personal life was another story altogether. Let's just say it was no bed of roses. No pun intended. Yes, we all know about the feuding between Joan and her sister Olivia de Havilland, but this video isn't about that. No, this video is about what happened on the set of one of Joan's most well-known and beloved films. Now I want to take you back. The year is 1939, and a young and rising starlet, Miss Joan Fontaine, has gone to a dinner party at the home of Charlie Chaplin, and has really made a big impression to the filmmakers of Hollywood. They were now asking, who is that girl? Now she didn't know when she arrived, but this night was going to have a huge influence on the direction of her career. You see, it was at this party she met a man who would go on to change her life forever. Sat next to Joan at the table was none other than David O. Selznick.
Well, I was at dinner one night at Charlie Chaplin's, and I said to the man on my right, what else do you talk to people about? I was talking about books, and I said I just read a marvelous book called Rebecca, which I wondered if he'd read, and he laughed and he said, my name is David O. Selznick. I bought that book last week, the rights to it. Would you like to test for it? Well, of course I would, and I was thrilled to death. I made 7 tests. And so did everybody else in Hollywood, including, I know, Vivien Leigh for one, Loretta Young, Susan Hayward, Geraldine Fitzgerald, lots of people. And I even think Lana Turner. 3 days afterwards, of course, the phone rang, and it was my agent saying, you've got the part, you have it.
Because Laurence Olivier wanted his then-girlfriend Vivien Leigh to play the lead role, he treated Joan Fontaine horribly. This shook Fontaine up quite a bit. So director Alfred Hitchcock decided to capitalize on this by telling her everyone on set hated her, thus making her shy and uneasy, just what he wanted from her performance. In her autobiography No Bed of Roses, she wrote that she never felt so alone as she did in 1939, when she celebrated her 22nd birthday on the set of Rebecca by herself. Here is Joan in her own words discussing what it was like on the set of Rebecca.
Laurence Olivier wanted Vivien Leigh to do it, and it rather showed it, I'm afraid. It was very unhappy for me, but that literally contributed to my performance, because I felt rather shunned and ostracized by everybody because their favorite Viv had not got it. And this little stranger, whippersnapper, who nobody had ever heard of, had the role. And I was treated rather as though I had leprosy.
But despite all this, Joan still had one person she could turn to.
Oh, I'm very, very fond of Hitch. He used to call me Kid all the time. Now, Kid, let's show him, Kid. Let's go and do this, Kid. And I felt he had a tremendous kind of paternal interest in me, which I appreciated very much indeed. I just wish we had done more together. I think I did 2 televisions with him afterwards down the years, but I wish I had done more. He began, I think, to feel that he was a star maker, and that's when he started to do things with Tippi Hedren and various others. I think if he felt he could do it with me, that he had some kind of talent in this direction. I believe he worked with Grace Kelly, however, didn't he?
That's right.
Yes.
Now we mustn't forget David O. Selznick, and just exactly how instrumental this man was. Because without him, Joan would never have played the second Mrs. De Winter, nor would she have ended up starring in, dare I say it, one of the greatest films ever made.
David was a creative man in every way, enormous good taste. There was no aspect of a film that he wasn't in personally, including the sets and the costumes, everything. Every word one spoke. He even directed the voiceovers. When I'd say, in the film last night, I dreamt I went to Mandalay again.
Last night, I dreamt I went to Mandalay again. It seemed to me I stood by the iron gate leading to the drive, and for a while I could not enter, for the way was barred to me. Then,
David was in the projection room doing that with me.
So that's the story of how Joan Fontaine got the part of the second Mrs. De Winter. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, then please feel free to subscribe to this channel. It would mean a lot to me. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time.